In the quiet town of Cedarville, a group of retirees who were all born in the grunge era had always been known for their calm and peaceful presence. They would gather at the local coffee shop every morning, sipping their lattes and discussing the latest news in town. They were considered the pillars of the community, the ones everyone turned to for advice and wisdom. But one day something changed. It started off small with whispers of strange behavior from the retirees. At first, no one took it seriously. After all, they were just a group of quiet and resigned individuals who had lived through the turbulent times of the grunge era. But as the rumors grew louder and more outrageous, the townspeople began to take notice. It all began with Mildred, the sweet old lady who'd always been known for her gentle demeanor. She was caught shoplifting at the local grocery store, stuffing cans of soup and bags of chips into her purse with a mischievous twinkle in her eye. The other retirees were shocked when they heard the news, but instead of condemning her actions, they found themselves intrigued. Before long, Mildred was joined by her friends, Walter, the former grunge musician who had always been the life of the party, and Evelyn, the quiet librarian who had a wild side no one suspected. They started going out at night, hitting up bars and clubs and experimenting with drugs they had never even heard of. The townspeople were scandalized. They couldn't believe that these quiet and resigned retirees were behaving so badly. They tried to intervene, staging an intervention and pleading with them to stop their reckless behavior. But the retirees just laughed in their faces, reveling in their newfound freedom and independence. One night, the retirees decided to take their rebellion to the next level. They gathered at Mildred's house, transforming it into a wild party scene straight out of their youth. They drank, they danced, and they indulged in wild sex with abandon. Shocking even themselves with their own audacity, the townspeople were aghast. They couldn't believe what was happening right under their noses. They tried to call the police, but the retirees just laughed and waved them off. They were beyond caring about what others thought of them. They were free. As the night wore on and the party reached its peak, the retirees felt a sense of euphoria unlike anything they had ever experienced. They were no longer bound by the constraints of society or the expectations of others. They were free to be themselves, to let loose and embrace the chaos and uncertainty of life. And in that moment, as they danced under the stars and laughed in the face of convention, the retirees realized that they had never felt more alive. They had shed their quiet and resigned exteriors, revealing the vibrant and rebellious spirits that had been lying dormant within them all along. As the sun rose on Cedarville, the retirees stumbled out of Mildred's house, their eyes shining with a newfound sense of purpose. They were no longer the quiet and resigned pillars of the community. They were rebels, adventurers, free spirits who refused to be tamed or controlled. And as they walked back to the town square, hand in hand, a new energy filled the air. The townspeople watched in awe as the retirees embraced their wild side unapologetically and unabashedly. And in that moment, they realized that age was just a number, and that it was never too late to break free from the chains of expectation and embrace the fullness of life.